Hello, my friends. Today, we open the Bible to meet a young man with a very special coat. His name is Joseph. His story has many colors, just like his coat. It has love, jealousy, dreams, and tears. So find a comfortable place, relax your mind, and let the words wash over you. A boy with a dream, a gift from a father, and brothers who could not stand to look at him. One beautiful coat changed everything. But the real story? It is not just about the coat. It is about what happened next. Before we begin, if you are new here, this channel is called Learn English with the Bible. We read simple stories together. It is a safe place to practice your English and learn wisdom from the old stories. If that sounds good to you, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me make more stories for you. Now, let us begin with Joseph. The story begins in the land of Canaan. A man named Jacob lived there. Jacob had 12 sons. They were a big family. They worked together every day. They took care of animals called sheep. The family lived in tents. They moved from place to place to find green grass for their animals. Jacob loved all his sons. He was a good father. But the truth is simple. He loved one son more than the others. That son was Joseph. Joseph was 17 years old. He was young. He was his father's favorite child. Why did Jacob love Joseph so much? Because Joseph was born when Jacob was already an old man. Joseph was a special gift, a gift from God in his old age. This made Joseph very dear to his heart. Now Joseph worked in the fields with his brothers. They took care of the sheep together. But sometimes Joseph saw his brothers do bad things, and he told his father about it. He brought a bad report to his father. This made the brothers angry. They did not like that Joseph told on them. One day, Jacob decided to give Joseph a gift. It was not a small gift. It was a beautiful coat, a long robe, a robe with many colors. Blue and red and green and yellow. It was beautiful. Everyone could see it was special. This coat was a symbol. A symbol is an object that shows an idea. The coat showed everyone that Joseph was the favorite son. It showed honor. It showed love. When Joseph wore that coat, he looked like a prince. When the brothers saw Joseph in that coat, something changed inside them. They looked at him, and they felt a fire in their hearts. They felt hate. They could not speak one kind word to him. They were jealous. Jealous means you want what someone else has. They wanted their father's love. They wanted a coat like that. But they did not get one. So they hated Joseph. Now one day, Joseph had a dream. A dream is a story your mind makes while you sleep. This was a special dream. Joseph was excited. He ran to his brothers to tell them, "Listen to my dream," he said. "We were in the field. We were tying grain together into bundles. My bundle of grain stood up tall. Your bundles of grain gathered around my bundle, and they bowed down to it. They bent low to the ground." The brothers understood the dream immediately. They were not happy. They were angry. They said, "Do you think you will rule over us? Do you think you will be our king? You want us to bow down to you." They hated him even more. The fire of jealousy burned hotter. Then Joseph had another dream. He was not afraid to share it. He told his father and his brothers, "Listen to this dream," he said. "This time the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowed down to me." This time even his father was surprised. His father looked at him. He said, "What is this dream? Will your mother and I and your brothers really bow down to you?" The words were sharp. But Jacob, his father, kept the words in his mind. He thought about them quietly. He wondered what they could mean. Time passed. The brothers were far from home one day. They were taking care of the sheep in a place called Shechem. It was a long journey from home. Jacob wanted to know if his sons were safe. So he called Joseph. "Go to your brothers," Jacob said. "See if they are well. See if the sheep are safe. Then come back and tell me everything." So Joseph agreed. He was a good son. He put on his beautiful coat and started walking. He traveled alone. He walked for a long time under the hot sun. He was looking for his brothers. The brothers saw Joseph from far away. They saw him walking towards them. They saw the coat of many colors shining in the sun. They did not feel happy to see him. They did not feel love. They felt hate grow in their hearts. They said to each other, "Look, here comes that dreamer. Here comes the boy with the fancy coat. Let us kill him. We can throw his body into a pit. A pit is a deep hole in the ground. Then we can say a wild animal ate him. Then we will see what happens to his big dreams." But one brother did not agree. His name was Reuben. He was the oldest. He wanted to save Joseph. He had a plan. He said, "Let us not kill him. Let us not hurt him with our hands. Just throw him into the pit alive. Leave him there." Reuben planned to come back later. He planned to pull Joseph out and take him home safely. But he did not tell the others his real plan. So when Joseph arrived, they attacked him. They grabbed him roughly. They tore off his beautiful coat. They tore the coat of many colors. They threw him into a deep, empty pit. The pit was dry. There was no water inside. Joseph was alone. He was scared. He was at the bottom of a dark hole. Imagine how he felt. Can you see him there, crying out, begging? But his brothers did not listen. Then, after throwing their brother into a pit, the brothers sat down to eat a meal. Think about that. They sat down to eat bread and food. They ate their lunch while their brother was in the pit, crying for help. This shows us how hard their hearts had become. While they were eating, they looked up. They saw a group of travelers in the distance. These travelers were called Ishmaelites. They were coming from Gilead. Their camels carried heavy bags. The bags were full of spices and sweet-smelling oils. They were going to the country of Egypt to sell their goods. One brother, his name was Judah, had an idea. He said to the others, "Listen to me. What will we gain if we kill our brother? We will have to hide his death. That is a crime. It will be on our conscience forever. Instead, let us sell him to these traders. He is our brother. He is our own flesh and blood. But let us sell him. That way, we get money, and we do not have to kill him." The other brothers agreed it was a terrible plan, so they pulled Joseph up out of the pit. Joseph must have felt hope for a moment, but then he saw the traders. He saw the camels. He understood. His brothers were not saving him. They were selling him. The traders paid the brothers. They gave them 20 pieces of silver, 20 small coins. That was the price of a slave. Then the traders took Joseph. They put him with their group. They started walking south. They were going to Egypt. Joseph was now a slave. A slave is a person who is owned by another person. He has no freedom. He must do what his master says. Joseph was far from home. He was alone. He was only 17 years old. Now, the brothers had done a terrible thing. They had sold their own brother. Now they had to hide it from their father. They had to make a story. A lie. They took Joseph's beautiful coat, the coat of many colors. They killed a young goat. They took the animal's blood and dipped the coat in it. They made sure the coat was covered in red blood. Then they brought the coat home to their father. They said, "Father, we found this coat out in the wilderness. Look at it carefully. Is this your son's robe? Do you recognize it?" Jacob took the coat. He looked at it. His hands began to shake. His heart broke inside him. He cried out, "It is my son's robe. A wild animal has eaten him. Joseph has been torn to pieces. My son is dead." Jacob was filled with grief. Grief is deep sadness. It is the sadness you feel when you lose someone you love. He tore his own clothes. He wore rough cloth called sackcloth to show his sadness. He mourned for his son for many, many days. He would not stop crying. His sons and daughters came to him. They tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. He said, "No, I will be sad until the day I die. I will go to my grave mourning for my son. I will never stop missing Joseph." So where is Joseph now? He is in Egypt. He is far from his father. He was sold to a man named Potiphar. Potiphar was a very important man. He was an officer of the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh was the king of Egypt. He was the captain of the guard. He was in charge of the king's soldiers and the prison. Joseph was now a slave in Potiphar's house. He was far from home. He was alone. He had nothing. No family. No freedom. No hope. The brothers meant to do something evil. They meant to destroy Joseph. They wanted his dreams to die. But the story tells us something important. God had a different plan. A bigger plan. The story is not over. This is only the beginning. What does this story teach us today? It teaches us about jealousy. Jealousy is a dangerous feeling. It starts small, but it grows. It grows until it makes people do terrible things. The brothers let jealousy grow in their hearts. It made them hate their own brother. It made them break their father's heart. Jealousy is a poison. We must be careful. We must not let it grow in our own hearts. But the story also teaches us about hope. Joseph was at the bottom of a pit. He was sold as a slave. Everything looked dark. But God was still with him. Joseph did not know the future. He could not see the plan. But God could see. Bad things happen to everyone, but they are not the end of the story. There is always more to come. And now, let me talk to you about your English journey. Learning a new language is hard work. Some days you will feel like Joseph in the pit. You will feel stuck. The words will not come. The grammar will feel confusing. You will feel alone in your struggle. But do not give up. Every new word you learn is a step out of the pit. Every sentence you understand is a step toward your dream. Keep going. Be patient with yourself. Your story is not over yet. You are still learning. You are still growing. One day, you will look back and see how far you have come. Thank you for listening to this story from the Bible. I hope it helped you practice your English. I hope it gave you something to think about. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps more people find us. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? Why were the brothers so angry at Joseph? Was it just the coat, or something more? Write your answer below. I read your comments. I love to hear from friends all over the world. Also, tell me where you are watching from. I am curious to know. Until our next story together, take care of yourself. Be kind to others, and keep moving forward on your learning path. You are doing a great job. Goodbye for now, my friends.